Hey there, comic friends. I'm Travis, and it's Talking Comics. I'm going to talk some comics. This is comics for last week. Let me look up the calendar. This would be March 6th. Comics March 6th. I didn't get a ton, which is lucky for you. That means this video won't be terribly long. First up, we'll talk Poison Ivy. Ooh, the glare. This is Hot for Teacher. This is the issue 2 of the story arc that has to do with Pamela's, Poison Ivy's origin. It's good. They're cementing a new origin for her. And I don't know if this implies this is the first for Pamela. But I'm enjoying the comic. I like the art. The art is good. This issue has a lot more to do with her struggling with Woodrow's experiments, trying to make them work. She gets a competitor because, of course, you know how creepy professors are who sleep with their students. Sooner or later, they find a new one, right? And so that happens. That happens in this story. Woodrow is himself experiment on himself, sliding deeper into the abyss, and probably gonna take Pamela with him. Obviously, I love that bunny. There's a bunny. But yeah, it's I continue to like Jubila Wilson's story. It's awesome. Issue 20, they're going to be rolling into 2 years of a book that really, I think, started out was 6 issues. 6 issues is what they thought they'd get away with, and then they got, it sold well enough that that they could, we're going to get 12 issues in, and that's going to be it, because clearly that's going to be, pushing the envelope, and here we are. The car is the artist there. I'm failing here. Like I said, I'm continuing to enjoy it. I like Poison Ivy. I like Poison Ivy as a character. They do an interesting job, tell some interesting stories. Question the environment, question who you are as a person. All the good stuff that makes for good storytelling is in Poison Ivy. I'm looking forward to the end of the origin of Poison Ivy, because by and large, most of the time I don't necessarily care about the origin, but it's been interesting. Gives you a frame of reference as to why she is the way she is, and look forward to the stories that come afterwards, because I'm just curious to see what's next. I mean, this whole series started out as basically her kind of on a suicide march across America to fix America. Well, fix the world, really, starting in America. And how is that all going to work ultimately? How are they going to fix? How is she going to fix her fix? Because it's not working out the way she originally planned it would. Okay, next up we're going to talk Underheist. This is issue number 2. This the cover even is cool. This is the Lapham books. The Laphams, David Lapham, famous for Stray Bullets. I'm actually wearing my Stray Bullets t-shirt today, as a matter of fact. I'm digging it. There's clearly, so the main gist is a group of guys get together. They're going to steal. They're going to rob bank robbers. They've found out that there's some guys that are going to rob a bank, and after they're done robbing the bank, they're going to rob the people who robbed the bank, take the money, and disappear and live happily ever after, right? Because that's how that works. And it clearly doesn't. It goes sideways in the first issue. People get shot up. There's some weird stuff going on. There's some surreal, or either they're hallucinating or they're tapping into the supernatural. There's some weird stuff going on. One of the main characters keeps seeing people. He sees them die. He sees them been alive again, and he sees them die a different way. The art is classic Lampum art. Typically, this is how most of the books are. Panels of 8, by and large. Occasional larger, larger panel. Some horrific stuff goes on. The coloring is way better in this issue than in the first issue. I don't know exactly what the play was. Ooh, there's the cover for number 3. Interestingly, talking about number 3, I ordered my comics months in advance, and I haven't seen this on the solicit, I think, for at least twice. I'm not sure what's happening there. This comes out from Boom Studios. But yeah, there's some just really trippy stuff going on, and I'm really curious to find out exactly what that is. There's this hole in the ground, and from that hole in the ground, some weird shit is happening there. So I'm just really curious to see exactly what is going on. There's a whole cast of characters, and they all got their problems, which is another I feel like a classic Lampum thing. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm just kind of wondering what's going on. When I don't see it in the solicitations, there's no way in issue 3 they could possibly wrap up anything. So I don't know exactly what's going on there. I don't know if that's their scheduled break. It's not like this comic, I don't believe. It doesn't feel hefty, so I don't think it's extra pages. So we get like 3 dense books, and then they take a break to produce more stuff or whatever. But as I always say, I was going to count the pages, but I'm going to change my mind. I rather that they take their time, take the breaks they need to produce the book they want to produce, than to churn out something that is not what they want to produce. Despite schedules, I just wish there was some way that it was communicated better to those of us who are buying them in single issues, so we have some idea of what's going on, so we don't forget about it. I don't want to it to be 4 or 5 months, and then I'm ordering and the book has come out again, and because I'm in a hurry ordering books that I miss it. I don't use the pull list system that Discount Comic Book Service has, because it at least it used to anyway. It if you say I want Batman, let's just say, and you put Batman on your pull list, it will put all of Batman 147. There may be 6 variant covers. It puts all 6 variant covers in my basket to purchase. So then I have to spend a lot of time going through and taking out the stuff that I don't want. And I find I miss something, and I end up buying some not stupid, they're cool looking generally, but I don't want some 1 in 300 variant cover that cost me $100. I'm gonna drink some tea here. So yeah, I don't want that, so I don't use the pull list. So sometimes I miss stuff. Anyway, next up, it's Love Everlasting, the Tom King and Chartier, I don't know, French Canadian or French? I think she's French. Not 100% sure. Hollingsworth on colors, Cowles on lettering. This book is always right on the fence with me. It was fun initially when it first started out, and now I'm becoming weary of the idea of it. This Love Everlasting, it's kind of a play on the old romance books, and that part of it is fabulous. I don't know, I feel like this is issue 13. It's starting to feel a little played out. Now we're getting the cowboys part of the story, which is interesting. So our main character, Joan here, is going through the centuries, back and forth or whatever, popping into different realities. And it seems to be that it's important that she falls in love with somebody and it lasts forever. When it doesn't, and she starts to fight back and she starts to run away, this cowboy shows up and shoots her dead, and then it all starts all over again, it seems. This issue is set in the 60s. Joan is a hippie, protesting, wanting equality and whatnot, and nobody can convince her to fall in love with this guy. There's a guy there, Mr. Handsome, Mr. Heartthrob. Oh, my heart is broken because you've rejected me, Joan. Because Joan is caught up in the whole equality is more important than individual love. Good for Joan. Her created best friend here it tries to convince her that she should fall in love with this guy. It still does not pan out. Does not pan out. So they send in the cowboy. And from prior issues, we know who the cowboy is. And he's going to go and do the dirty work of basically shutting down Joan and restarting the whole thing again. I think this story is being told from the first time he is sent off to do this, and I'm not sure that it pans out exactly the way it wants it to. Next issue cover, great. The cowboy standing by the water cooler, talking about his job, because it is a job. I mean, there's a person who's kind of running this thing. We don't know why. That's the stuff we haven't learned yet. Why is it important that Joan falls in love and stays in love? Why they keep doing this weird stuff to reset that? The cowboy is from the era, 86 or something like that. He's of the era of the Wild West, or almost at the beginning of the end of the Wild West. But there's this whole cast of characters so it's like the Truman Show or something like that are kind of manipulating Joan into falling in love and staying in love. Not sure exactly, like I said, why that's important. But there is some office tension in a few of these issues. That part's interesting. I don't know. This part is more interesting, but at around issue 9, I started to grumble. Other people in my house really like the book, though, so I'll keep reading it. I'll keep waiting for it. Tom King lots of times delivers at the end of the day. The art is fabulous. Love her style. So yeah, that's where I'm at with that. I like it. I don't like it. I like it, but I'm suspect, I guess I should say. Birds of Prey. This is issue number 7, the beginning of a new arc. That cover is by the artist that has done the first 6 issues. I'm drawing a blank on their name right now, so I'm going to look it up and I'm going to kill it because it's a name I can't pronounce. No, it's Leonardo Romero. And Romero has been doing the inside, and it has been brilliant. Jody Belair doing the colors gives this kind of old school feel to it, but modern at the same time. I generally pick up a lot of what Romero does. I think he worked with Kelly Thompson, who is the writer on this, on the West Coast, the latest West Coast Avengers that came out through Marvel. Like that too. Just they have a really cool style of work. This issue, and I think this entire arc potentially is done by Javier Pina. I'm not as excited by it. It's not as dynamic. It's much cleaner, straight line. Still colored in the same way, which I think is good. They have decided to maintain the look of the comic even when the artist changed by this kind of unique coloring job. And I think that's a pretty smart thing to do. I keep hiding my face. Not my face matters. So I'm enjoying that aspect of it. So we kind of get a new team. We get some new people on the team anyway. They've added Barba. We have found out that somewhere in the future, because of some actions, potentially Barbara is going to be murdered. And so they haven't told Barbara that part, but they are working to try and figure that out. There's a character in here. It's Maps from the old Gotham Academy. She is a young adult. She has the ability to teleport through time. And she's actually from a different time. I'm trying to remember what her hero name is. I am drawing a blank. Meridian, I think, is what she goes by. Because of Maps, Meridian. Yeah, it's Meridian. So they're trying to figure that out. I don't think they've completely clued Barbara in on all of that aspect of it. And they have found out that potentially Vixen has some tie into it. So they go to meet Vixen, who her day job is she's a fashion designer. She has a label that makes money that then gets fed into other social network things and whatnot. And she's like, fine, I'll help you. I need you to help me. Somebody is murdering. Well, so some people who are wearing her fashions are committing crimes and dying. Her fashions are pretty popular, but there seems to be some connection to that. We find out that it's happened to her wearing her own stuff. So the birds of prey, some of the birds of prey are going to go undercover to see if they can help her, so then she can help them. They're undercover as a fashion show. The last line of the comic, I won't show the page because I don't blow everything. The last line of the comic is, next, well, they're already in their underwear. What else could you possibly want? So, anyway, still enjoying the book. It's fun. Kelly Thompson is a smart writer. She writes a book that is fun to read. There's always some really good humor in it, some good sarcasm, and some great dynamic action generally in every issue, and a good mystery. So, yay, good Birds of Prey. Cool stuff. And if they're gonna, like, every arc move some of the people around, that excites me too. You got this kind of core Birds of Prey, and then there's tons of other heroes that they can pull into the Birds of Prey to have them around for some stories or whatever. But having like a main cast being Cass, Batgirl, and Big Barda, keeping Big Barda book rocks. Of course, Black Canary is the core of that. Now they've got Barbara Gordon, Oracle, Batgirl folded into it too. Yeah, so I'm excited by that. Next up, we have another Boom Studio book. I get quite a few Boom Studio books these days. This is Pine and Merrimac, private detective comic. Pine and Merrimac is the coroner that the detective agency is based on. Kyle Stark's written and friend Gallen art. Kyle Stark's other things that he's written. He wrote the last Peacemaker book, which was fun. It kind of mimicked the HBO Max TV show, which made it fun, and at the same time, are you aping something or are you doing your own thing? I really like Kyle Stark's from his I Hate This Place. That book was outstanding. Original ideas, the art in it made it great too. I'm trying to remember what the artist's name off the top of my head. I can't remember. That was fabulous, and so it's kind of turned me on to Kyle Stark's. What is he writing? What is he doing? So here I am reading this. Basically, these private investigators have been assigned to find a missing girl. In the process of finding the missing girl, they find basically a cult that is tied into politics. This issue, we find out, tied into human sacrifice, tied into weird sex things. I'm trying to remember, and I can't remember off the top of my head, and I meant to look it up before I started talking comics so I could sound super smart. There is some kind of, cult's the word you want to use, but there is some weird political power get-together thing somewhere secretly in California, I believe, with a giant owl and all kinds of things. I think this is a play on some of that. So I love these two characters. They're hilarious. They're super cute. Them talking to each other, the dialogue between them is really fun. I love them. They are what holds the comic up. Otherwise, the basic plot and story is fairly simple. It's fairly paint by numbers. There's no surprises. They just kind of very easily stumble into everything they need to stumble into and see whatever it is they need to see. This issue, they've got themselves in serious trouble. I'm sure the next issue they'll figure out a way to get out of it. I don't think they're going to be able to just punch their way out because there's lots of the opponents and very few of them we get some character, backstory here as to why people are who they are. But like I said, the couple, their dialogue, their interaction with each other is super cute and super fun, and that's what holds the comic up. Otherwise, it's pedestrian, I guess. And finally, this time around, my sixth issue. This is Wes Craig's Kaya, colors by Wordy. This book I always love. It is super, super dynamic. Wes Craig just has a fabulous style. His style is so good. People might remember him from Deadly Class. He uses some of those same sort of elements, but he is just a super dynamic artist. He's a good writer. This is an interesting story. It's really, really cool, really interesting. And because he's the one that's writing, he can get away with page layouts like this. I just really like it. It's always exciting. There's always something going on. We've got rebels in this. Kaya's brother is the golden child, who's supposed to dethrone the robot overlords that are taking over everything. And nothing's as simple as that, right? There's always action, there's always adventure, there's always some crazy stuff going on in the book. It's just really, really, really enjoyable. If you like dynamic action type comics, you should be picking this up. If you're not, I think you're mistaken, because it's just like I said, it's just a really, really good read. If you're not picking it up in singles, you don't pick up singles, pick up the trades. The trades have everything in it. Originally, it was like, there was some back matter stuff in some of these issues, and it was like, if you're reading the single issues, you're not going to get to see this. And now they've kind of caved and said, oh no, we can't let the trade readers miss out on the extra stuff. So that means it's not extra stuff, right? But anyway, it's just really good. I mean, this issue says here, while the rebels plan a daring attack, Jin, that's the golden child, makes a desperate attempt to rid himself of the curse he's brought back from the dark realm. He's tapped into some magic, and the magic seems to be, like a demon or a devil going, hey, I can help you do this stuff, but I'm going to get something out of it too, kind of a thing. And so he's done that at times, used that because he's been desperate. Where they're staying at right now is a place that's got a magic spring. It's supposed to do stuff for you. It's supposed to heal you, but it heals you taking tiny, tiny sips over a very, very long time. And he decides he doesn't have time for that. And so he does some guzzling, and it does not work out well for him. So that's the starting of our new sort of a thing going on. Our rebels have gone off to do a daring deed, and that has not gone well for the rebels. And Jin is now deep in his head in a fevered dream that is going to kill him. It looks like they need to find this lotus or something like that to save him. It's at the bottom of the well. And so off Kaya goes to save her brother once again. Super, super good stuff. And that's it. That's my comics. Busy reading my comics for next week. So if you like listening to me ramble about books, see you next week.